So if you have ever tried to write any form of copy, whether it's ad copy, website, landing page, script for an ad, any of the above or other, and absolutely struggled, you just stared at the cursor blinking back at you, it's probably because you didn't do enough market research. I am a digital marketing strategist specializing in copywriting and creative strategy. I write copy every single day. So from firsthand experience, I can tell you that if you don't do the right or enough market research, it's going to be very difficult to even conceptualize what you'll write and pump out words onto the screen to then get people to take an action and purchase. Market research is the backbone of copywriting. Copywriting itself doesn't require amazing, clever writing skills, although that's a plus. It actually requires good market research and analyzing skills. The act of writing copy can be fairly quick, where market research can take hours and hours. If you haven't done enough market research, then the copywriting will take much longer and it probably won't be as good. So in this video, I'm going to share what I do for market research whenever I'm working with a new brand or writing copy and just need to brush up my memory with who and what I'm working with. My name is Danae. I make marketing simple. If you're interested in marketing, definitely consider subscribing and signing up for my free newsletter, The Digital Marketing Diaries, which you can find in the description. Whether you are a founder writing copy for your own brand, or you're a freelancer, or you work in a corporate company, you just want to brush up your skills and figure out what other people are doing for market research, this video is for you. I'm actually going to take you directly onto my laptop and walk you through my process. We're going to pretend we're doing market research for a specific product and show you exactly what I would gather, and also how I use ChatGPT to speed up my process of doing this market research and analyze some data for me as well. So it's going to be really fun. Let's get into it. I wanted to bring you guys onto my laptop to share the detailed process that I go through. I will admit I'm not as organized as I'd like to be when it comes to putting everything in like pretty charts and whatnot, but I try to be. For the sake of this video, I created a kind of bare bones chart to make everything look good and help you guys visualize the process. I'm going to try and walk through the process as much as possible, but I don't want the video to be way too long because I really just want to share the principles of the market research, why I'm doing certain things, kind of talk out loud while I'm going through it. So you have the confidence to go and do it yourself. Because I think sometimes people get caught up in making sure they're doing every single thing the certain way. But the truth is you learn over time and you pull ideas over time, and market research becomes uniquely yours. There are things you should include, but then you'll start to kind of develop your own processes. So although I'm going to be sharing this sheet here and different tips and tricks with how I use, for example, ChatGPT and all of that stuff, it's not like, don't look at it as the law. This is more so me explaining why and how I do certain things. So then you can go on and do your own process and create your own chart and documents and whatnot. Now, I definitely prefer using Google Docs over Excel, but Excel allows you to create different sheets within it and organize it a lot better. ChatGPT is really a big part of the process for me. I do pay for ChatGPT 4. I think it's 20 USD a month. Can't really remember. It's definitely worth it if you have to do a lot of market research or you have a lot of tasks similar to this that I'm going to share with you. So for the sake of the video, I didn't accidentally leave the laser hair removal up there. I plan to pretend that I'm starting a laser hair removal brand and I'm doing market research to write copy for this brand. Let's say that the thing that I'm using to stand out is that I'm using, let's say the laser is best for people with melanin skin. So let's say that's what our unique kind of standout point is, our unique selling point, sorry. I'd say that's what our unique selling point is. And we're now going to do market research on other brands so it's a portable laser hair removal device for people with melanin skin. The laser is specifically made so it doesn't burn their skin but also helps remove like the thickness, whatever. Okay. I don't know if that already exists or what, but that's what we're going to be doing today. Now we're going to do market research on our competitor brands. So the first brand that came up when I typed in laser hair removal, didn't type in melanin skin and see if anything comes up. Okay. Same brand still came up. They're paying a lot of money for SEM here. I guess I'll just stay with them. So we're going to use Rose Skin Co. as like our main brand. Now I'm going to use this one brand for the sake of this video, But it's important to remember that all of this, if I'm any competitor research or just market research in general, I would pull from at least 3 brands. If I'm new and I'm just wanting to like scope out the scene, at least 3 brands. Okay. But for the sake of the video, we're only going to use Rose Skin Co. So here's the chart. First thing on the chart is standout reviews. So you can call this a variety of different things, call it standout reviews. Standout reviews are reviews that stand out to you. Now, the difference between a regular review and a standout review, in my opinion, is a review that has phrases or unique storylines or interesting parts of it that isn't generic, isn't something you might hear every day or that any person might write on a review. If it says great product, removed my hair, that's not a standout review because that's what your product should do and it doesn't have anything unique to it. There's something that stands out. But a product like, or a review like this, for example, I kind of started this already, cuts me every time. The motor sounds and feels solid and smooth. Battery life is great, but I can't do a close trim without. I had actually pulled reviews from a different product when I made this. It was a hair trimmer, but for the hair trimmer, not a laser hair removal device, but for the hair trimmer, in this case, you'll see it says that it pulls and cuts the skin, which is bad. And this person says here, this thing draws blood in the absolute worst spots. That was like very standout to me. It's obviously a bad review, but we have it here to help us with different aspects of our copy. So when we're writing copy, we might want to talk about different objections or concerns or issues people might have in the past. And in order to do that, we need to do this research to know fully. So having this stuff in one place and being able to Command F and type in cut and then see what comes up. Obviously, imagine this sheet was really filled out. It will give you so many ideas and the ability to pull out lingo, words, terminology. I just said a bunch of synonyms that people write and would resonate with in your copy. So what I normally do is I go on the brand and I look for their reviews. So I was trying to come up with an analogy for this. Cat's out the bag, I think is what I want to say. Cat's out the bag. Brands put their best reviews. They curate the reviews on their page, right? So this is only your initial search. You're going to initially start on their site and see what people say. This is going to be the best reviews. Then we're going to do a little bit more digging later on. So I just want to point that out. So here it says, honestly, a great investment. I've been using it for 5 weeks. Spots on my legs where hairs stopped growing, blah, blah, blah. Nothing stand out. So I would scroll. I've used my handset 3 times and so far, and I already see a huge difference. I suffer from PCOS and one of my symptoms is excess hair. You can see this is from 2022. The brand has this as the second highest review because clearly people that struggle with PCOS have insecurities about their hair and would want their product. This is like intentional for them putting it up here, whether the review is real or not. Sometimes brand put fake reviews, right? But this is obviously very interesting information. I didn't even read it all the way through. And I know that, okay, this person is like, to leave a review of this length anyways is like, okay, you really had something to say. So I should probably paste it. So what I would do is I would copy the review. Doesn't matter the name, doesn't matter any of that stuff. Just copy it and I would paste it in. Please do not judge my use of Excel because it's not my thing. Quick notes here. So I would say has PCOS, is happy with product. Just if I'm scrolling through and I just want to pull something, I would leave these quick notes. And then the rating. So the review was rated, it was a 5-star good review, right? Yeah. So I would rate it good. And another thing you could add to this section of your Excel sheet is medium. You can't see it because I actually wrote it out. Trustpilot, maybe like forum is the next one. Done. So that way, now when you're filling it out, you could then put website, boom, got it from website. And this is for Rose Co. But it doesn't really matter to put the brand. You can. So you can also add a thing, like if you're doing market research on different competitors because you don't have your own reviews already, that's fine. Now, if you are doing market research and the brand has a lot of reviews and information, then you would just put the reviews from the brand. Does that make sense? But you want to also scope out the scene as well. So there's a difference between market research for your brand and competitor research, but in this specific instance where we're writing copy, we want both. You would continue doing this. So scrolling down and looking for good reviews. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Okay, as I said, we're not going to get anything really juicy from this. So what I do then is I type Trustpilot and Rose Skin Co. And we have a Trustpilot. Trustpilot is basically a trusted platform that ensures that the people writing reviews are real purchasers of the product. And because, as I said, brands tend to put fake reviews on their sites, whatever, it's common. A lot of people do it, unfortunately, even if their product isn't good. So people really trust Trustpilot because it verifies the company and it verifies the reviews. So chapped lips. Okay. So Trustpilot's a great place. So then I would start using the filters, which is great. So 1 star, it's a little bit high. They only have 4.1 star reviews, which is, could be better. Whew. Okay, 6 days ago, the worst company customer service ever. I ordered their product on December 11th. It's a Christmas present. They didn't, okay, so bad shipping, okay, whatever. Honestly, the customer service is bad. Okay, they had a bad Christmas run. Horrible customer service. Product does not work. Unable to return and get a refund. They flagged my review. Oh, wow. Okay. Don't buy, not working. Okay, here's a good one. I regret their skin got burned and they left scars. I would assume, I've never bought a laser hair removal device, but I've gotten laser hair removal. And one of my concerns was, burning my skin and that sort of thing. And I wouldn't get a at-home laser hair removal device for that reason, even if I thought the product was amazing, just because I don't trust myself to use it properly, and to burn your skin in that way would not be the vibe. So this would be a concern, I assume. And you have this person who had this bad experience that's talking about it. So I'm going to paste it and put it on. And then I would just continue to do that. So I would go through the best reviews, the worst reviews on Trustpilot, and continue doing so. And then I would go to other competitors and do the same thing until I have a fully filled out chart with all the information I need. So I would say that having around 30 reviews from both the brand, if you have reviews already, and their competitors is a good place to start, but the more, the better. And then what I would do at this stage is copy all the reviews. So let's say we had literally 50 reviews. They were all really juicy with a lot of information. I would copy them. You might have to break it down into, depending on the length of the reviews, between 10 to 15 increments, copy it. So we can copy all of this at once. You go on ChatGPT, and I would say, pretend you're a digital strategist doing market research. And I'm also going to say, pretend you're a senior digital marketing strategist doing market research, and analyze the information in this set of customer reviews from competitors. Please pull the pain points, objections, concerns, and standout phrases from this set of reviews. Please gather information neatly into a chart. Let's see what it does. And then I would paste the reviews and hope for the best. So imagine you did this 50 times with all the reviews. Not 50, but you did it a lot of times and you had a lot of good reviews, the information that it's about to pull out. Normally, prior to ChatGPT, when doing this process, I would have to go through all of the reviews and manually pull out the information, manually analyze it. It's a lot of information to gather and it takes up so much time. It's good to go through it, but this just saves you so much time. So we have this beautiful chart now. Although I only gave it 4 reviews, it gives me a review summary, pain points and concerns, cuts, bleeding, fair reviews, positive feedback, standout phrases, cuts me every time, draws blood, scared to use, waste of money. So then what I would do is I would have some sort of section. Again, I usually like to use a Google Doc and I don't make it this pretty. I honestly just paste everything and just write notes. It's just a disaster, but that's how my brain works when I'm writing copy. But I would add a section potentially to this here on my Excel sheet, and I would paste these words, these standout phrases that I can then use for my copy. So we have here a godsend, never, never, ever again, fits the bill. That's a nice phrase for price. There's just so much you can gather from this. So that is how I would start off my research to really get the gears turning, with reviews, and use ChatGPT. So hopefully this section was helpful. Now I'm going to move on to the second phase of my research, which would be coming up with the avatars. Now, again, if your brand already has these avatars, it would just be more so about refreshing it. And if not, it would be about developing them and from scratch, and how you develop these, which, if you created a product, you should definitely have your your personas, your avatar is already there. The brand should have that already, but it might not be as detailed or as specific. This is how I would break down doing that avatar research and developing them. Now, I would say having 3 avatars is good, 4 is better. More than that, it's not worth your time. When you're creating the avatar, you want to break it down between these 3 categories. So demographics. Demographics is all about kind of really targeting a specific person. So the name, what age group they're in, their gender, how much money they make. So we can kind of gauge whether the price range of our product fits within their yearly budget, that kind of thing. And then psychographics. So psychographics is more about their psychology and emotions towards the problem they're facing and the solution, which is your product. So what I have here is, what does their day-to-day look like without your product? So the emotions they have without your product. What problem does not having your product bring up? So simple as, and what are the top 3 emotions that come up as a cause of those problems? And then what have they also already tried? So having these psychographics will really help you in developing copy that resonates. So I suggest whenever you're writing copy, you write to one of the avatars. So for example, if you run an ad about a specific angle towards a specific person, you should then create copy for a specific landing page that resonates with that exact angle. And that angle is targeted toward a specific avatar, right? So that's why these avatars are very helpful. And the third section here is barriers and motivators. So we have the demographics, we have their psychographics. Okay, now what is stopping them from getting the product? What might be a barrier for them? And how can we motivate them? So that section is what I find most useful. I think all of these sections are useful, but when I'm actually writing copy, I'll always come back to the barriers and motivator section to kind of prompt an idea. So I'll show you how you can fast track this process again with GT, but I'm going to explain how I would go about developing these avatars from scratch if I didn't have them already. So what I would do is go on Instagram and I would type in the brand. So Rose Skin, great competitor brand. So we would do this for every competitor brand. And obviously if you're doing research for your brand, you would do the same method and you would go in the tags category and see the type of people that are tagging you organically. So let's just say, for the sake of the video, I'm not going to make it too long, but I'm just going to click on the most organic thing. This doesn't look like it's a sponsorship. Yeah. Oh, it is. It's not paid sponsorship. Okay. I'm basically scrolling to see if I can find something that doesn't look like a paid sponsorship and it's just like someone really excited about the product. Okay. This doesn't look like a paid sponsorship. Okay. So now I'm going to go on her page. And what I'm really essentially doing is I'm going to judge her. I'm going to try and figure out who this person is and what they care about. They care about their aesthetic. They care about things looking good. They care about themselves looking good. They care about their surroundings. You can see their feed is all curated. They're really into fashion. They look to be in their 20s. They really curated their feed. They care about having nice things. Clean. You can see everything is very neutral. It's clean. They want to feel clean by lasering their hair. But maybe they're looking for a DIY option for this because they want to invest their money into other things that are important. This is like my marketer brain judging off rip, right? So I would do this with as many tagged photos I can find, and I would go into their comments and I would look at their comments and I would continue this process as well. And then I would say, okay, this is an avatar now. Maybe my avatar now, maybe I find other versions of this specific type of person. I would then use her, Lauren, as one of my avatars because I've seen this similar type multiple times. So what I will do is I'll copy avatar. So I would copy this information from the chart of the avatar, and above it, I would say, now, can you create one avatar called Lauren, who's in her, let's say, mid-20s and cares about XYZ. So let's say I would just blabber, just say as many things I could say, and loves to try new innovative beauty products. And then I would say by filling out the information in as much detail as possible. You really have to talk to ChatGPT like that, or else it's going to just write one sentence. And as much detail as possible in a neat chart. There's better prompts, but this is just, the real deal. This is actually what I'd be doing. So press enter, and then it's going to knock it out for us. Blah, blah, blah. It's going to just yap, and then it's going to create the chart. So now it's doing it for us, 55K per year. So what I would do at this point is, the goal here is not to just pull this information from ChatGPT and put it into our Excel sheet. The goal is to read through it, see, and kind of give us a jumping point so we're not spending too much time doing this nitty-gritty stuff. So now we have this. So what I would do is I would read it, and then I would see if it resonates with what I've seen and if it has added more valuable information, and then paste it into the chart. And then we'd repeat this process. Now, let's say we honestly don't have the time or can't figure out any more avatars. I would then say, can you repeat this process, but for avatars you think, based on the reviews and the other information that I've put into ChatGPT so far, what other avatars would be interested. So then it will develop them for you. And again, you can use your own bias as a human to then tweak it and make it make sense for the brand. Another important thing you should note with ChatGPT is that I'm on a specific chat right now, ChatGPT. And the only thing I've spoken about, we've discussed in this chat about, is this brand. So this chat is curated and being trained on how to get information for this brand. If I were then to put this information into a new brand, it would be all messed up because it wouldn't be trained for the specific brand. So it's important that you keep the information in one chat. However, even if you pay for the subscription for ChatGPT 4, it does start to slow down when you have a lot of requests in one chat. So you'll have to refresh it and retrain a new chat, but it doesn't take that much effort. So you can use it for as long as possible, but you'll start to notice it will slow down. And that's when you retrain the new chat by feeding it this information that you already have. So let's look at one of the psychographic sections it said for Lauren here. So it says, Lauren starts her day with a morning skincare routine using her current lineup of beauty products. She chooses her outfits based on the latest clean girl trend. Love that. Aiming for an effortless, chic look. Throughout the day, she stays updated with the latest fashion and beauty trends on social media, constantly seeking out new and innovative products that can enhance her aesthetic. However, she often feels that something is missing in her routine that could bring her closer to the flawless natural beauty that she admires. What problem does not? So she has difficulty finding product that truly matches her aesthetic and skin needs. And she hasn't found any beauty products that she likes that fit her aesthetic. This is good, but it doesn't really reflect the actual product that we are focusing on, which is hair removal. So that's what I'll say to ChatGPT. Or I would paste this and I would go into the chart and add it myself, whichever you feel like. For the sake of the video, I just want to really hone in on how ChatGPT can help people with their research. So I'm going to show you what I would do. So I would say, this is good, but please add more about how hair removal affects her and why she cares about it in relation to beauty and aesthetics. And then it's going to redo it. And then we're going to see an example of what it says, and we'll move on from this section here. So Lauren's day involves meticulous beauty and skincare, focusing on achieving polished, clean girl aesthetic. Despite her efforts, she feels her look is incomplete without the perfect hair removal solution. That's better, which is integrated to the smooth, flawless skin that complements her style. That's good. She wants her overall being to be clean and spotless, and with the hair, it gets in her way, and shaving every day is stressful. So this is stuff that is not added, but I would add. So I would paste this in, and then I would go and I would tweak it. So you could just copy this whole chart and put it in, and then continue going for the different avatars as I mentioned earlier. But I want to move down to the barriers and motivators. So barrier one that they have here, GPT has here, is worry about skin irritation, ingrown hairs, or other adverse effects from hair removal products. That's obviously going to be a concern for her, a barrier, because she cares about, this is for anyone really, but specifically this avatar, she cares about her looks a lot, right? So the desire for a long lasting effective hair removal method that ensures smooth, flawless skin is in her aesthetic, that's going to motivate her. So when we're writing copy, we're going to focus on this motivation if we're writing to this avatar, right? So this is what I would copy and paste this whole section here. I'll go through them more, but skepticism about the effectiveness and value. That's great because, it's good. It's a nice new technology, but is it actually going to work for me? And the motivator for this skepticism is going on the quest of hair removal solution that's both innovative and aligns with the commitment to sustainability and ethical practices. Okay, so she also cares about, ChatGPT is assuming she cares about ethical practices and whatnot, sustainability, maybe not. I probably lean towards maybe not that much with this avatar, but there might be other avatars that do. And if our brand does adhere to any sustainable practices or whatever, then sustainability practices, and we would add that in to this section. And then also the high cost and commitment required for professional treatments like hair removal. That's important. Maybe she wants to spend her money on other things, luxury, that kind of thing, not on this. So the appeal of it being clean, polished, but it's also is minimal effort and it doesn't cost her a lot is appealing. So that's going to motivate her. So when we go on our chart here, we would type in all of this information. I feel like this Loom stuff is glitching my thing, but okay, let's just not do that. But we would paste in the barriers and motivators. Okay, hold on. I really want to come through for you guys right now, but yeah, I'm not about to do all that. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm not about to just worry about the pasting and whatnot, but we would paste in all of this information in the avatar sheet. And then now we have these avatars, and something great that you can do with this now is say, okay, now with your information about these avatars, we'll show you. Again, there's only one avatar, but let's imagine there was all the avatars we needed. Now with all this information about our avatar, give me 10 ad angles I can use. Give me 10 ad angles I can use. For the sake of this, let's say we want to write ad scripts and we want to use avatar. Now it's going to give us some ideas, and they're probably going to be generic and basic. And this is where now this real skill of copywriting comes in, and AI can't really be that useful, but it will pull ideas for us that will then boost creativity and help us finish it off and develop copy that actually resonates, that's actually human, that's actually innovative, creative, interesting, etc. So the last part of my market research, actually second last part. So after doing all of this avatar research, I would then go on platforms like Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit and look again for people who are interested in the product that I'm selling or have bought from or have used my competitor products. So I might type in hair removal device Reddit, and I would scroll through which one works. We have Our Beauty. So for example here, which device actually works? And there's 77 comments. This is from 10 months ago, so that's great. And I would go through all of these comments. This person is talking about when they bought off Amazon. If I find anything interesting, unique, a review of some sort, I might copy it and go back into my review section and paste it in. And then here, now they've given us a competitor, someone saying this is good. People are like, I use this, I like this. Okay, this is a competitor. This is the Braun hair removal device. It looks like it's only in America. If you guys didn't know, I'm based in Canada. If you guys didn't know, I'm based in Canada at the moment. So that's why it's not showing up properly for me here. But I would go through this and I would say, okay, wow, this is another competitor. Let me look through the reviews. Yes, yes, yes. As a guy who trims, I've been using this, I might paste this into my review section. So that's how I would use Reddit. Again, getting that information. I would also probably go on Twitter and I would go to my Explorer and I would type in hair removal device. And then I would see what people are saying. It might be very like, I've been upping the level on my laser hair removal device and it's starting to hurt. I better be bald soon. I might add that in. I better be bald soon might be a phrase I want to use in copy. So that's where the next section comes in, which is the word bank. So I'll start to type in, again, I usually do this on a Google Doc, but I'll start to type in words and phrases that I like. So bald, like I like that, like that's something I want to use in the copy. So I'll type bald and then I would continue doing this. The Twitter stuff is good because you get people's raw, honest thoughts. These people are literally just opening the app and tweeting like hair removal, Who's used an at-home hair removal device? I don't think I can afford to keep going to the spa. Well, that's good. That's something I could type in. Can't afford to go to the spa. Even though her prices are reasonable, I don't want to go back to waxing. Please send your recommendation. It's hard to find actual reviews now instead of just ad. Okay, there's emphasis on actual good reviews. Maybe that makes me, as a copywriter, think about how we can implement proper UGC or reviews that are authentic or whatever on the landing page or whatever we're doing, right? So we're going to just literally scan the internet to find the most organic pieces of information, thoughts that people are having. And I would also do stuff like can't afford laser, for example. We know that's something that people will say. and see what people are saying. My cousin, his ex-girlfriend name tattooed on his arm. He can't afford laser removal surgery. Okay, can't afford laser hair removal, I should probably say. Not tattoo removal. Can a sugar daddy somewhere out there start sponsoring my laser hair removal in exchange for after pics? Okay, that's interesting. I'm gonna wear this lifestyle given this allowance anymore. But you guys see what I'm saying. This is like gold mine of good information, and I would fill up my word bank with these phrases, words, information that I want to use and come back to it so that I'm not staring at the screen with the blinking cursor. What else did I say? TikTok would be the same thing, guys. Laser hair removal, look for the most. Okay, so I'll type in laser hair removal and I'll look at what people are saying, blah, 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 right? So then I would copy and paste anything interesting. Sorry about the sun. Anything interesting, anything that I think people would resonate with, and put it in my word bank. And then all of this information is now embedded in my head. So normally when I'm writing copy, I like to do the research in like a few hours, let's say 2 to 3 hours. And then I would take a break and then I would come back, let's say after an hour, and I would pump out the most generic, horrible copy I've ever written based on all this knowledge I have in my head, on all the ideas I have. Like it's just pump it out on a Google Doc. And then I would go do something else for the day. Maybe I'm done work for the day, or I have another project to do, and I'd go do that and then sleep on it, wake up the next day and then edit it. And I like to do that at least 2 times before to really get the best copy. I do have a bunch of like short copywriting tips on my TikTok and Instagram on how to write better copy that you can watch as well. Maybe we'll put one on the screen here just so you can get a little bit familiar, but like I'll use these different techniques now after I have this market research to write copy that not only resonates, but like sounds good, is clever, and all of the above. So hopefully this gives you a good understanding of the different techniques you can use to do market research. But generally it's focusing on reviews, creating your avatars, and then developing a nice word bank with phrases. And again, for the word bank, you can actually take phrases from the review section as well. And you can just ChatGPT to pull it out for you. But obviously you would also have things in your head that you found memorable or interesting because you're the one, sifting through and choosing them, right? So yeah, it doesn't really have to be complicated. And there are more things you can do. But there are more things you can do. Of course, you could spend hours and hours and hours doing market research. So another level of this would be to actually interview customers, interview people who haven't bought yet, and interview people who have bought yet. Sometimes brands gives incentives to customers to do these mini interviews, and they are also very, very valuable. So if you're a copywriter or founder, whoever you are, if you can interview people, that is a gold mine of information. And that can help you also develop your avatars. But if that's not possible, or it's in the works and you're just starting with what you have now, this is a great place to start. And yeah, there's just so many other methods you can continue to do and go about. But I would say this is a bare minimum that you should do. And this will definitely help you start fleshing out copy and not feel so overwhelmed and confused if you are having that issue. Great, so that's it. I really hope you learned something. If you did, definitely consider subscribing, and also again signing up for my free newsletter, the Digital Marketing Diaries, which you can find in the description. And good luck with all your copywriting.